Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So they've revealed a little bit about what's going on with Spider-Man and Captain America Civil War. So this is going to be a breakdown of that as well as an explainer for a couple of the other characters like Martin Freeman's Everett Ross. So the big news about Spider-Man is that he's not going to surface until after battle lines have been drawn. Team Iron Man, Team Cap. They didn't say which team he's going to join, but they did say he would form a attachment, quote-unquote attachment, with one character in particular. I think there are a couple clues that tell us which team that's going to be, and I think it's going to be relatively similar to comic book Civil War, even though they're not doing comic book Civil War for the movie. There are a lot of details that have been changed, but I think a lot of it has to do with the age Spider-Man is and how impressionable he is, like the people that he looks up to, and him getting woke to what's really going on. So think about it this way, you have a 15-year-old science geek that probably looks up to Iron Man, but then realizes just because he's Team Iron Man doesn't necessarily make Team Cap wrong. I kind of think of the Iron Man character as the teenage fantasy anyway. Billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. All the most awesome extreme things you could be. Captain America on the other side of that equation is still a fantasy, but he's more of an adult fantasy. Like you grow out of the man-child phase, you get a little more mature. That's Captain America as compared to Iron Man. Even though neither one is in the wrong technically, Iron Man does develop a lot of technology that helps humanity. He does good things. It's just that he's kind of a man-child. So you see how a lot of teenagers might look up to him automatically, even if you're not a science geek like Peter Parker is. Peter Parker is the prototypical aspiring science bro. Also some really cool evidence that I think he's going to be Team Iron Man. The trailer that they just released for the Super Bowl has Iron Man putting on one of his gloves to stop the bullet from Bucky. Does that not look like it starts as a wristwatch? Like he sticks the wristwatch on and the glove forms around it. Isn't that something that you could turn into a mechanical web shooter? Kevin Feige's already revealed that in New York right now, there is a teenage Spider-Man web-slinging around. He's already got his powers, wearing a very lo-fi teenage version of the costume. A costume that looks like it was built by a 15-year-old kid. So we're talking hoodie here. And I know there was a hoodie that was going around the internet. I actually pre-ordered it, but it's not supposed to be delivered till this summer. I have absolutely no idea if this is the actual Spider-Man costume. It might be, but I think that Spider-Man is wearing a t-shirt version of the costume. He joins Team Iron Man, gets a slightly upgraded version, then gets woke. Okay, whoa, we're hunting down someone who isn't wrong. But as for his actual role in the movie, I don't know how pivotal he's going to be in the fight because James Gunn made the joke a while ago that he only has 4 minutes of screenplay. Now, I don't know if he was just joking around, so I don't want to take that too seriously. But it sounds like Spider-Man is somewhat of a fringe character. I think that Iron Man will play a continued role in Spider-Man's evolution, just like Cap will. But it's probably whatever death ends up happening in the movie that kind of catalyzes Spider-Man's view in the whole situation where he's like, okay, you guys are really awesome, but somebody just died, so this is bullshit. And even though Iron Man's relationship with Captain America is going to be a much bigger thing in the movie thematically than his relationship with Spider-Man, I think it's pretty easy to assume that Tony Stark would think of Peter Parker as somewhat of a son-type figure. Maybe not an actual son. It's not like he's going to adopt him anytime soon, but he might see Spider-Man as a younger version of himself, and that might help Iron Man get woke to what's really going on. I realize that the Sokovia Accords are a big deal. Yes, we need to bring Winter Soldier in, but it's not worth the death of my friends. I know the whole idea is kind of silly, like how crazy would Iron Man have to be so stubborn that he would fight his friend Cap and one of their friends would die, like Avengers versus Avengers. How nuts is their thought process that things get this bad between them? That's really what the job of the first 2 acts of the film are. I'm guessing that Captain America in this scene here finds Winter Soldier in the first act of the film. Then they have the Sokovia Accords. Iron Man's like, we gotta bring him in. And that's when things spiral out of control. Now, there is a whole lot of other stuff going on too around the movie. You have Everett Ross, who's Martin Freeman's character. He is from the comic books. Then you have Crossbones, who seems like he's trying to destabilize the situation. You have Baron Zemo. So let's talk about some of those other characters. But let me know in the comments, do you think that Spider-Man is going to start out Team Iron Man and then go Team Cap by the end of the movie? Or do you think he's always going to be Team Iron Man or always Team Cap? It just stands to reason that if Peter Parker is a science geek, he's going to look up to science bros and he's going to get an upgraded version of his costume, and that's going to come from Iron Man. So he has to start out there no matter where he ends up at the end of the film. But other characters, Everett Ross, Martin Freeman is going to be so much fun in this movie. He looks like such an asshole, and I am so excited. In the comics, Everett Ross is a government liaison for foreign diplomats, so if he's going to be exactly like he is in the comics, then he's really going to be serving Black Panther's character, because he'd be the foreign diplomat from Wakanda. But in the Christopher Priest Black Panther title, there was like a brief Christopher Priest run that's actually pretty badass if you want to read a Black Panther story, where Everett Ross is assigned to lead Black Panther around New York and things spiral out of control. He's a relatively minor character, but I'm guessing based on that he will be connected to Black Panther's character in the movie, even if they expand the context of his role a little bit. But Marvel has revealed that in the movie he's going to be part of what's called the Joint Counter-Terrorist Center. So whatever his involvement with Black Panther, this anti-terrorist group will play a big role in the film. And they're the ones that are trying to keep Captain America and Iron Man accountable, the Avengers accountable, and they probably get the tip on Winter Soldier and want to go after him. So when Captain America goes against the government, he's probably going against this counter-terrorist group, and Iron Man just agrees with what they're doing. Think of the counter-terrorist group in the movie as what replaces S.H.I.E.L.D. because Nick Fury isn't supposed to be in the movie. He's kind of blowing in the wind. S.H.I.E.L.D. is in ruins, so this international anti-terrorist unit seems like it fills the void. And because Everett Ross is such a big character for Black Panther in the comics, I do think that Martin Freeman is going to have a big role in the Black Panther solo film. In related comic book news though, this is a big week for DC TV. King Shark tonight on The Flash. I'll be posting that video after the episode airs, so be sure to subscribe to get it. Wednesday, we're going to see Vixen from the comics on Arrow. And then Thursday on Legends of Tomorrow, we're going to see future versions of the characters. We'll see Connor Hawke and a future version of Deathstroke, which I think is going to wind up being Joe Wilson, the Jericho character. But just look out for those videos. I'll be posting some Marvel stuff in between all that. So while you guys wait for that video to post tonight, you can click here for all my Captain America Civil War videos, and you can click here for my Batman v Superman Justice League teaser. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.